cat meat. Cat meat is meat prepared from domestic cats for human consumption. Some countries eat cat meat regularly, whereas others have only consumed some cat meat in desperation during wartime or poverty. Africa. Prehistoric human feces have contained bones from the wild cat of Africa. In some cultures of Cameroon, there is a special ceremony featuring cat eating that is thought to bring good luck. Asia. China. In Guangdong and Guangxi provinces in southeastern China, some, especially older, people consider cat flesh a good warming food during winter months. It is estimated that in southern China's Guangdong province people eat 10,000 cats per day. In Guangdong, cat meat is a main ingredient in the traditional dish dragon, tiger, phoenix, snake, cat, chicken, which is said to fortify the body. Organized cat collectors supply the southern restaurants with animals that often originate in Anhui and Jiangsu provinces. On January 26, 2010, China launched its first draft proposal to protect the country's animals from maltreatment, including a measure to jail people, for periods up to 15 days, for eating cat or dog meat. With the increase of cats as pets in China, opposition towards the traditional use of cats for food has grown. In June 2006, approximately 40 activists stormed the Fangji Cat Meatball restaurant in Shenzhen, forcing it to shut down. Expanded to more than 40 member societies, the Chinese Animal Protection Network in January 2006 began organizing well-publicized protests against dog and cat consumption, starting in Guangzhou, following up in more than 10 other cities with very optimal response from public. Japan. In Japan, cat meat was consumed until the end of the Tokugawa period in the 19th century. Korea. In Korea, cat meat was historically brewed into a tonic as a folk remedy for neuralgia and arthritis. Modern consumption is decreasing and more likely to be in the form of cat soup. Vietnam. Cat meat is eaten in Vietnam, even though it is technically illegal. It is generally seen on menus with the euphemism tu ho, literally baby tiger rather than the literal thit mu. Cat calls have aphrodisiacal properties according to people in North Vietnam. Europe. Switzerland. Cat appears on traditional Christmas menus in some areas of Switzerland, especially in the regions of Lucerne, Appenzell, Jura and in the canton of Bern. According to the Food Safety and Veterinary Office, the sale of dog or cat meat is not allowed, but it is legal for people to eat their own animals. The Swiss parliament rejected changing the laws to protect dogs and cats for human consumption in 1993. Denmark. In June 2008, 3 students at the Danish School of Media and Journalism published pictures of a cat being slaughtered and eaten inside it, a magazine for journalism students. Their goal was to create a debate about animal welfare. The cat was shot by its owner, a farmer, and it would have been put down in any case. The farmer slaughtered the cat within the limits of Danish law. This led to criticism from Danish animal welfare group Dyrenes Beskyttelse, and death threats received by the students. United Kingdom. In 18th century Britain, there are a few records of cats being eaten as a form of entertainment. Italy. In February 2010, on a television cooking show, the Italian food writer Beppe Bigazzi mentioned that during the famine in World War II cat stew was a succulent and well-known dish in his home area of Valdarno, Tuscany. Later he claimed he had been joking, but added that cats used to be eaten in the area during famine periods, historically. He was widely criticized in the media for his comments and ultimately dropped from the television network. Cats were sometimes eaten as a famine food during harsh winters, poor harvests, and wartime. Cat gained notoriety as roof rabbit in Central Europe's hard times during and between World War I and World War II. Cat consumption was a stereotype attributed to Vincennes in Vicenza, Italy. According to the British Butcher's Advocate, Dressed Poultry and the Food Merchant of 1904, just before Christmas it is common for a group of young men in northern Italy to kill some cats, skin them and soak them in water for 2 or 3 days. They are cooked with great care on Christmas Day and served up hot about 1:30 p.m. After Mass. Many people in Italy, on the quiet, keep cats like the English do rabbits, to kill. A cat skin there is worth 10 pence, as the material for muffs for girls. Extraordinary care has to be taken in procuring the animals, for the Italian Society for the Protection of Cats is vigilant, and offenses against the law are followed by imprisonment only. We have no fines in Italy. According to the Dietetic and Hygienic Gazette in 1905, Italy cultivates the cat for home consumption as English people raise rabbits. It is to be done on the quiet, however, For in spite of the profit in the business and the demand for the delicacy, the law has to be looked out for, and the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Cats is vigilant. Offenses against the law are visited with imprisonment. Cats are raised for the market nonetheless. Fattened on the finest of milk, a choice specimen will attain the weight of 15 pounds. France and Spain. There are accounts of cat being consumed in the Roman province of Gallia Narbonensis, southern France, in Spain in the 17th century, and during World War I and World War II. Oceania. Australia. Indigenous Australians in the area of Alice Springs roast feral cats on an open fire. They have also developed recipes for cat stew. Some other inhabitants of the area have also taken up this custom, justified on the grounds that felines are a serious threat to Australia's native fauna. Scientists warned that eating wild cats could expose humans to harmful bacteria and toxins. The Americas. Peru. Cat is not a regular menu item in Peru, but is used in such dishes as fricassee and stews, most abundant in two specific sites in the country, the southern town of Chincha Alta, Ica region, Afro-Peruvian mostly, and the north-central Andean town of Huari, Ancash region. Primarily used by Afro-Peruvians. Cat cooking techniques are demonstrated every September during the festival of Saint Ephigenia in the town of La Quebrada. In October 2013, a judge banned the annual El Festival Gastronómico del Gato, the gastronomic festival of the cat, which was held every September in La Quebrada to commemorate the arrival of settlers who were forced to eat cats to survive, citing it as cruel to the 100-plus cats specifically bred for the event, which involves being kept in cages for a year prior to the festival. The judge also cited concerns over the safety of the meat, which drew criticism from residents who contend that cat meat is far richer than rabbit or duck, and that it has been long consumed globally without any deleterious effects. That same month, Magistrate Maria Luyo banned the Festival of Coronao in the small town of San Luis. Locals say that the festival, which sees cats being drowned, skinned and tied to fireworks and blown up, dates back to the practice of eating cat on the part of African slaves who worked on sugarcane plantations in colonial times, and is part of the religious celebrations of Santa Ephigenia, an African Peruvian folk saint. Luyo stated in her ruling that the festival fomented violence based on cruel acts against animals which caused grave social damage and damaged public health, and that minors could be psychologically damaged by watching the events. Argentina. In two 1996 TV reports from different networks, Telenoticias and Todo Noticias, some citizens in a shanty town in Rosario, Santa Fe, Argentina, stated that, during an economic crisis, they had to feed the neighborhood children with cat meat, and commenting, "It's not denigrating to eat cat, it keeps a child's stomach full." Although the validity of these reports has been questioned, no explanation of what is shown in the TV report or confession of forgery has been produced. It has been reported that the then mayor of Rosario accused the TV networks of having enacted a play to discredit the city. Jewish and Islamic tradition. The Jewish laws of kashrut and Islamic dietary laws both forbid the consumption of cat meat. Kashrut and halal laws both disallows the consumption of any terrestrial predators. To be considered kosher in the case of mammals, it must not be a predator and it must both chew cud and have cloven hooves. Be a predator and it must both chew cud and have cloven